Welcome, welcome to the JJ Carroll Show. You just watched it. You just watched what the title of my show is. ICE and Border Patrol agents' lives are at risk. That's not hyperbole. That is in Alameda, California. California is ground zero. That in Chicago, New York, ground zero for the death that is waiting. Border Patrol and ICE agents. There's a shootout at a Coast Guard base that was housing ICE agents as they do their patrols, and that they became like their command center or their area where they muster. And this guy drives in a U-Haul and starts blocking or trying to ram the Coast Guard, and they open fire. Do you think this is going to stop? Do you think that this is going to decrease? Or do you think this is going to explode in America? It's going to explode. And I'm going to show you a bunch of politicians that are actually throwing, not gas, they're throwing bombs on the fire. They're blowing it up every single day. As I'm talking to my producer, Nick, before I went on, I'm sitting here and I'm watching this stuff every single day. And I have already been hired. I've already gone through the whole process to go back into the belly of the beast after doing 24 years and thinking I'm never going to arrest anyone ever again. Thank God. I don't want to do it, but I feel compelled as they reopened a rehire of former ICE and Border Patrol agents. And I feel an absolute pull of responsibility to get back in the fight. And I'm sitting here as multitude of other agents with supervisory task force skills are waiting on the sideline, just like me. We're literally waiting for our government to say, go in. Any government official that's out there that has anything to do with this, and I've already exhausted all of my connections. We're sitting here. We're watching our brothers get shot at, trying to get rammed. You got 2 agents in Arizona that got rammed by a car. They're in the hospital. We got fights every single day. And you have hundreds, if not probably 1,000 plus former retired guys that are in great shape like myself that are ready to go to war. All you have to do is just let us get in the game. We've already passed everything. I've already passed my drug test, my background, my medical, everything that you have to, the hoops you got to jump through. And I get it, you have to, and I agree that you have to do this. So how about you just get it done? Because men like me are ready to go to war. And if you don't think this is a war, you're a fool. And I'm going into it with that mindset, that I'm going into it and I'm in a war. When you have to discharge your weapon, when you have to wear riot gear with ballistic vest, that's a war zone. Nick, my producer Nick and I were just talking before I came on, as we do every day now. And I was telling him the days of half measures, the days of 1 foot in and 1 foot out, those days are gone. They were gone years ago. Today, for me, you're either all in for America and what is right, or I don't have any time for you. I don't need any friends. I have a beautiful wife, beautiful son. I have brother and sisters. I have some really great friends. I don't need anybody else. I really don't. I don't care how that sounds. I got X amount of time, and I pour myself into my family, so I really don't have any time for anything else. So I don't need any friends. So I don't need to try to get along to get along. Don't need it. We're talking about people talking about, well, Paul Ryan. Well, we got the Rand Paul, excuse me. Rand Paul Ryan, dear, what a piece of trash he is. Rand Paul saying, well, we got the Constitution. And I just want to say, what Constitution are you talking about, man? What Constitution has this government been working under? Not the one our founding fathers created. That was gone a long time ago. Which one? Which version of the Constitution am I supposed to follow as the left openly tries to kill us? The left is openly stating, you know what? When we get back in power, we're going to be identifying all these ICE agents and all these politicians, and we're going to go after them. They're openly saying it. So when I go back into this war and have to fight, God forbid, don't have to unholster my weapon and fire rounds downrange, but if I have to, I have to. That these jackasses, they get in power, they're going to mark me and then come after me. You have people that in the government of Chicago and Illinois and New York, California are saying we're going to have our law enforcement arrest ICE agents and Border Patrol agents. Good luck with that. Good luck with trying to put cuffs on me on duty. Good, just and I'm going to say this, and this is going to be hard for people to hear. The idea that everybody that wears that uniform and has a badge and a gun is a good soldier, a good law enforcement officer, is absurd. What you have in law enforcement is a lot of task doers. You tell them what to do and they do it. They don't ask any questions. They don't even wonder if it's constitutional because their get out of jail card is, well, I was told to do it. And anyone in law enforcement knows that that's not an excuse. You can't use that. You can't use the, well, they told me. He ordered me to do it. Well, they ordered you to arrest a federal agent? Yeah, and I did it. You're going to have, and I'm already starting to see it, state and locals getting frustrated, state and local being torn between their mayors and chief of police that are adversarial to the federal agents. You're going to see blue on blue, and that is ugly. And when that happens, it's going to be horrific. I already started to see it. I think it was in Chicago. You had Chicago PD officer yelling at an ICE officer, telling him, if you do this, I'm going to arrest you. I would have told him right to his face, you better pull your big boy britches up and real tight, my friend, because you are never going to put me in handcuffs. It's not going to happen. I'm going to beat you to the pulp. And that is not what we want, but we're getting there. And we're getting there because we have vile politicians that are pitting law enforcement against law enforcement. And if Donald Trump does not, meaning Pam Bondi, does not arrest these people, and do you think I have any hope? We're going into the month of November, people. Has anyone been arrested yet? Was Comey arrested yet? Has anybody had handcuffs put on them and brought in front of a machine to have their fingerprints inputted and their mugshot taken? Anybody that stole the election in 2020? Anybody that lied to us about the COVID and the vaccine? Anybody that opened the borders and allowed 30 million people in? Anybody that's been stealing our money through the NGOs that Doge has come out and shown? Anybody that the guy that had like 400,000 fake Social Security numbers? Any of the Somalis and the politicians that got rich in Minnesota on COVID scams? Has anybody been arrested? And the answer is no. Then the follow-up question, and it's a very powerful 3-letter word. Why? Why not? Could the deep state, the administrative state, the federal government, could the corruption, the deceit, the anti-American, the graft, the treason, could it be so deep, so entrenched that it's too far gone? And that is my belief. is too far gone. I watch every single day one politician after another politician, the media, these activists putting ICE and Border Patrol agents' lives at risk and in danger, calling us Nazis, calling us fascists, saying that we need that their constituents have a moral duty to dox us, to identify us, and to challenge us. They being the elite left, funded by George Soros, the Walton family, Bill Gates, they're funding an environment, a situation that is combustible and is going to explode. We can all feel it. It does not, you don't need to be in law enforcement for decades to figure this out. It is going to happen. And damn it, when I'm back in that mix, if you think I'm going to blow up, you're insane. You think I'm not going to come back to my family? You are insane. You think I went through 24 years, the United States Border Patrol working down on the violent Tijuana border, running narco task forces, human smuggling task forces on the Pacific Ocean at midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning, chasing on the beach and knocking people down and arresting 20, 30 guys, gang members with my team. You think I got home every single night after 24 years to go back in and be hurt by a bunch of blue-haired nut jobs? Not going to happen. Absolutely not. I'm going to tell you it's not going to happen. And this government, this law enforcement agency under Customs and Border Protection, they need men like me. They need it. They need guys that have been in the fire, that have come out of that fire day in and day out, that know policy, know law, know how to react, know why they're reacting and what the law and policy allows, and guys that will not hesitate to make very, very hard life and death decisions. They need us. I want to show you this video. This is in San Francisco. This is 30 seconds. I just want you to play it for 30 seconds, if you will. And I want you to imagine as you're watching this, this is how you go to work every day. Whatever your career is, whatever. If you're a teacher, you're going to school, you go through this. If you're an accountant, you're a baker, you're whatever. This is what you need to do to get to work. Go ahead and play this, please, Nick. You gonna be able to get this up? This is a protest in San Francisco. And Nick, if it doesn't populate, that's fine. But when you're going to work every single day and you're being challenged and fought and tear gas is exploding and you're shooting people with pepper ball guns, pepper ball launchers, and then you're watch this if you can. Why is that allowed? You have the right to protest, but you don't have the right to be so aggressive that I, as law enforcement, have to throw tear gas at you, smoke grenades, that I have to physically push you out of the way so my vehicles get through. You know what's interesting? We just had the No Kings BS riots or protests. Did you see anybody throwing stuff at them? Did you see any conservatives fighting, not allowing them to do anything? Firebombing, throwing Molotov cocktails at them, shooting at them, throwing bricks and rocks at them. Did you see any of that? No, because we're different. Because we're nonviolent. And you better get that in your mind that you better become violent. Because they're at war. It's like they're on the battlefield and they've been waiting and they keep hitting their war drums like, I'm here. We're waiting for you to come to the battlefield. Oh, you're not going to come because you're either gutless or incompetent? Then we'll just go to you. That's what's happening right now. Here's someone. This is a giant, fat piece of trash. This giant melon head, J.B. Pritzker, billionaire. Listen to what he talks about deportation enforcement in Chicago.
But do you believe any illegal immigrant charged with or convicted of a felony should be deported?
I think they ought to take the violent criminals and get them out of my state and get them out of the country. I absolutely believe that, but that's not what they're doing. They said they were going after the worst.
You don't help them because you're a sanctuary state, right?
No, we do. If you bring us a judicial warrant, we will bring you all kinds of help on the ground to go get the bad guys. That's what we want. We want the bad guys off the streets. What we don't want is for people to get racially profiled. That's what's happening right now.
But do you believe any illegal?
No, that's not true. You're a sanctuary city. You do not honor any of our legal detainers for the, quote, worst of the worst. And J.B. Pritzker is a giant fat liar. We're not racially profiling. All those ICE officers have warrants, and then when they meet someone that needs to be arrested and there are other illegals around, then we arrest them too. I can pick an illegal alien out 100 yards away. I can pick a legal resident out 100 yards away. J.B. Pritzker is a vile person. But I'm going to say this, that one of the biggest mistakes that Donald Trump and CBP did is they came out and said, we're going to go after the worst of the worst. That was a mistake. What the mantra should have been is we are going to go out and we are going to arrest every single illegal alien. Because here's the dirty secret. You have no way to determine who is the worst of the worst and who's not. You may have a pile, which they have, piles, not stacks, piles of files, of criminal alien files. That's what they know of. There are tens of millions of illegal aliens that we have no idea who they are. They're murdering, raping, and pillaging across our nation. We have no idea. So the idea that J.B. Pritzker wants me to come in and somehow get a needle out of a haystack and make a differentiation between a good illegal alien and a bad illegal alien is just BS. And I'm not going to play it. But we've talked in these terms for months now. The worst of the worst, blah, 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 blah. How about this? How about, quote, the good illegal alien that's on Section 8 housing, WIC, SNAP, cash assistance, schools, free health care? I don't consider that a good illegal alien. I consider them a suck on society, and I want them gone. Here's someone, just another example. This is, and when you play this, Nick, I'll just tell you when to stop. She is one of the most physically and intellectually grotesque humans. And I look at her, and I don't mean this being mean. She is horrific looking. This is the former mayor of Chicago, the lesbian, the radical lesbian. She looks like Beetlejuice. She's ugly as sin. How did anybody vote for her? She's grotesque to look at, and she's a vile racist. Go ahead and play this about Lori Lightfoot and her doxing agents.
We're calling it the ICE Accountability Project, and it really has three components to it. One is we want to create a centralized archive of all the purported evidence of criminal actions on the part of ICE and CBP agents across the region. It's out there, but it's in different places, and it makes it difficult to aggregate the information. We want to create a portal where what's happening real time can be centralized and then put out for the public to view. Number two, and importantly, we want to unmask the ICE agents, the CBP agents who are committing crimes in our city. We have an absolute right under our Constitution to be able to document what's happening. Every single one of those agents, height, weight, hair color, they wear their vests in a particular way. They're wearing insignias, even the masks that they wear, the shoes that they wear, the cars that they're driving. We have a right to compile that information and put together a profile of each of these agents that's alleged to have committed crime.
Are you saying you're going to compile this information then and then take legal action, civil action?
Well, what we're going to do is we're going to compile the information, and hopefully it's going to compel local
That's good, Nick.
law
I can't
enforcement, the state's
I
attorney.
can't
and-
take listening or looking to that grotesque individual. Listen to what she's saying. So I live here in Middle American, Kansas. So when I get my duty station will be in Kansas somewhere, and Chicago is around the corner. So more than likely I'll get detailed there. So I'm going to go there and I'm going to do law enforcement activities under the protection of the Constitution and the policies and laws that are afforded under the Immigration Nationality Act that I know frontwards and backwards. And then yet that incompetent, sexually perverse, grotesquely ugly human being is going to have power over me, and she's going to take my weight and my height, my hair color, how my vest feels and looks. And then if she doesn't like how I conduct myself, well, she's going to civilly and legally, lawfully arrest me. What the hell are you talking about, Beetlejuice? Honestly, you look like you stuck your finger in the light socket, number one. So you're going to run a portal. Who's going to run that portal? Who's going to have oversight? Mayor Johnson, grotesque DEI hire that has no ability to run Chicago more or less a lemonade stand? Who's going to have oversight? Is it going to be some more DEI aldermen from Chicago? People that are grotesquely stupid? That's what's going to happen? Who are you going to have? You're going to hire illegal aliens to run the portal too? Like you have illegal aliens in your police force? Do you see how this is going to go? I said this, I wrote about this, I've talked about this ad nauseum. They are hiring, Illinois, the state of Illinois is hiring illegal aliens to be in their police force. How do you think it's going to go when a legal alien tries to come up and arrest me or a man like me? You think that's going to go well? Do you think I have the right to fight that unlawful arrest by any means necessary? Because that other man has a gun. Am I supposed to allow him to pull his gun before I pull my gun? Do you see how this is going to play out? Do you understand the dangers that we now face? And you're expecting men like me to go in there and just take it? Here's better yet. How many of these men that would want to do this job are saying, no, thank you? Probably a lot. Let's listen to Pam Bondi, who I'm going to be honest, and this is fair. This is fair. I don't have any faith in Pam Bondi. I don't have faith in any of these people. They haven't done anything. It's 10 months, ma'am. You haven't arrested anybody? Listen to her talk about the unconstitutional, unlawful act of Lori Lightfoot, Pritzker, and she's sending out very, very strong worded letters to them. Go ahead and play this.
Ribs Pritzker, they're doxing, they're telling people the whereabouts of ICE agents. Is that legal?
No. And Jesse, first time I've seen the Lori Lightfoot video is just now on your show. She will be getting a letter from us tomorrow to preserve anything that she's done as well to make sure that she's not violating the law. It appears she is. You cannot disclose the identity of a federal agent, where they live, anything that could harm them. Pritzker, same ball game with him. And, you know, Pelosi got a letter today from Deputy Attorney.
That's good, Nick. It's going. Yep. You can just cut it right there, Nick. So what Pam Bondi is saying,
So did Brooke Jenkins, that DA in San Francisco.
Nick, go ahead and stop it there, buddy.
We told them.
So what Pam Bondi is saying, we're having technical difficulty. This is what Pam Bondi's saying. She's going to write some strongly worded words. Strongly worded letter. Okay. Thank you, Miss Bondi. This is called a felony, 8 USC 1324. You are aiding and abetting, and you are impeding federal agents in the course of their duty, and you're aiding and abetting the furtherance, the escape of illegal aliens from the custody of Border Patrol and ICE, immigration. I have said this for a long time, and I know they're not going to do it. They are going to, they being the Department of Justice, are going to have to arrest some of these politicians. They're just going to have to do it because they're not stopping. They're ramping it up. They're creating ICE trackers. They're going to tell people where you live. Look, one thing that Lori Lightfoot and I have that we probably agree on, I ain't wearing a mask. Lori Lightfoot's going to know exactly who I am. My face is going to be completely out there and open. I want you to see how my face looks because that's part of my officer presence. I want you to understand how my facial features are as I'm coming at you. I want there to be no wonder what's about to happen to you. You're going to see my eyes and my face as I come to you. And as all 6'3", 230 pounds of me grabs a hold of you, you're going to feel that weight. You're going to feel that anger. You're going to feel that power. And you're going to feel that level of force that I'm allowed to under the Constitution. And I'm going to inflict it on you. And it's going to be unpleasant. Because at the end of the day, I'm going home. I'm not making friends with you. I don't care if your arm snaps like a chicken wing as I got to put cuffs in it as you're fighting me. Don't care. It's not my problem. Your actions cause me to react. If you are kind, if you are polite, and you follow directions, we don't have a problem. You start fighting me, resisting me, then I have to get your hands in the small of your back by any means necessary to put those steel bracelets on. And it's a difficult procedure to do, even under the best of times and best of circumstances. But what does all this look like in real time? I'm going to show you this video, number 6, Nick. Let's see if it works. This is 2 ICE officers in Arizona that got rammed, and they're now in the hospital. This is what we are talking about that is going to accelerate in the field. If you have that one up, Nick, number 6, please. Might be one of those days where I can't get, Nick saying he can't get it up. Maybe he can right now, but we'll see. There you go.
Here in Avondale tried to stop a car with a man or 2 men that they were interested in. Homeland Security says this all started when those 2 officers tried to stop that car. They say the driver then kept going to their home, which is in this area here in Avondale. Homeland says when they got to that home, the 2 people in that car rammed into the officer's car. They got out and ran inside, which created this barricade situation. Now, eventually, ICE agents, we were told, arrested who they were looking for when ICE agents here in Avondale tried to stop
That's
it.
good, Nick. We're having internet issues where it's all of our
Car
videos are slowing down. You can
with
you can stop it.
uh, a man or two men that they were interested in. Homeland Security says this.
We're having severe internet issues. No big deal. This is what we're dealing with. This is what's waiting for me. This is what's waiting for ICE officers and Border Patrol agents every single night, every single day. And it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. One way, you heard it yesterday when I brought Kim Yater on the show, one way that we can be prepared, one way that we can take our money and fight against the big box stores, fight against the, let's just be honest, the companies that are poisoning us. The plastics in our food, the metals in our lotions and our shampoos, the plastics, gosh, in our water, the chemicals and dyes in our food. Have you had it yet? Have you had it? Like you're trying to eat healthy and you're eating your chicken and beef and maybe some vegetables and you're eating it and you're thinking to yourself, is this really good for me? I don't know. One way that I've combated this is I've gone to patriotsmade.com. And patriotsmade.com is a company here in America that makes over 400 products for Americans. They're green, natural products. To steal from AOC and her insanity, these are truly non-toxin cleaning products, food, power bars. I take their vitamin packets and I eat their power bars every single morning when I wake up and go to my gym. But I do that by going to patriotsmade.com/JJ. patriotsmade.com/JJ. I have over 1,000 of my listeners already, viewers, have already made the switch and they love it. You order something within a day or two, it's there in your front porch, either in ice or in a package where nothing's melted, nothing's ruined. And it's great. You don't go to the big box stores and then go shop at Patriots Made. You just shop at Patriots Made. And you don't give the Sam Walton, his family, Christy Walton, money so she can pay for No Kings riots. I don't have to go to Johnson & Johnson and all those and have shampoos with metals in it. Do you know that the pending Surgeon General has come out and said the nominated potential Surgeon General said now when they do autopsies that they have enough metals in your brain, deposited in your brain from all the food, toxic food that you eat, that they can measure it, they can quantify it. Stop and think of that for a second. You have the brain membrane. There are chemotherapies that cannot penetrate the brain membrane. They cannot penetrate that to get to your brain. But we have so much toxins in our food and water that is penetrating, and we are now able to measure metals deposited in your brain. Dear God. Go to patriotsmade.com/JJ. patriotsmade.com/JJ. I'm going to stay on immigration because this is a huge topic. And what these are the narcotic boats. We call them pongas in the maritime enforcement environment, if you will. We call them pongas. What are pongas? Pongas are giant open bow Mexican fishing vessels. Think of a school bus. The top of the school bus chopped in half, like down to the windows, chopped. Throw that away. Then you hollow out all the seats and everything, and then you put in like a a modified gas tank. And then you have multiple drums of gas. And then all the open spaces you have packed with cocaine, fentanyl, marijuana, heroin. You have it packed in there. And then you can go, what they do is in the Pacific Ocean, they go as far out as 200 miles out to sea to try to circumvent Coast Guard and Navy, come around, and then they line up, and then they come straight in as hard as they can into the coastline. And they dump their narcotic loads out in the middle of the night, and then 20 to 30 gang members, low-life criminals are the mules that have to mule the narcotics from the beach to a waiting U-Haul or RV, and they drive away. My unit, I created this unit, this maritime unit, 60 guys I supervised. And we would go from the northern part of San Diego all the way up to Santa Barbara, as far as actually Pescadero State Beach or Half Moon Bay, which is just south of San Francisco. It's a long way, long way. But we patrolled that, and we got so good that we were taking down all of El Chapo Guzman's Sinaloa drug cartels. So this is not something that I read about, or I know some guy in the Border Patrol that did it. I did it. I created this. I know exactly what's going on. There were so many nights at 2 o'clock in the morning as I'm standing there, as my team has arrested 20, 30 mules, 3 boat captains. I have the boat bobbing in the surf line. I have 5, 6, 7, 8,000 pounds of narcotics packed around me. I have the RV above me and the guy driving under arrest. I have a crime scene that is gigantic. And at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, I'm sitting there, and I can tell you, if I had a nickel for every time this thought crossed my mind, I'd be a millionaire. Standing there on the beach as chaos is I'm trying to corral the chaos. I would wonder, why is my government laying all this on my shoulders? Meaning we were great. I had a bunch of insanely good dudes that did this. And I sat there and wondered, why are we taking this chance? If I had a bad day or my team had a bad day, 10,000 pounds of hard narcotics would flood into America and kill and poison Americans. Why are we even trying? Why are we allowing this to happen? Why are we not blowing them out of the water? And sure enough, we have a man that has the biggest set of brass balls you've ever seen. That's Donald Trump. I want you to watch if our video works. If it doesn't, don't worry about it, Nick. Let's try to listen to Trump and Hedsec talk about the drug boats as they get peppered with insane questions from the press yesterday.
On the drug boats, sir, has there been any discussion about capturing one so that you can show the amount of narcotics?
We know everything about them. Yeah, Jennifer. We know everything about them. We know where they're coming from, who they're coming with, generally who's in the boat. I'll let Pete discuss it a little bit, but they have incredible intelligence. And, usually when you see 5 engines, I've never even seen that before, but when you see 5 engines on a boat going about 65 miles an hour, loaded up with white powder in silver cases, generally speaking, that's not a good sign. They're not going fishing, right? And you don't see any fishing rods, right? So, Pete, I'll let you discuss that a little bit, please.
Well, yes, sir. Likewise, generally, you don't see fishing in submarines either, sir. So the U.S. military, as I mentioned, nobody better in the world at mapping networks, identifying who's connected to who inside terrorist organizations. It's just the media is used to hearing that when it pertains to Afghanistan and Iraq and ISIS and Al-Qaeda. But if you reframe how you understand the world in our own hemisphere, that's exactly what these foreign terrorist organizations are. And so we will track them, we will map them, we will network them, and we will hunt them and kill them because they're trying to, and they are killing and poisoning the American people. And inside that, we have all the license necessary, all the authorities necessary to take these kinetic strikes, and we'll continue to take them.
Perfect. That's an alpha. Blow them out of the water. The idea that this reporter needs me to arrest them to show you what narcotics are. And then you have Rand Paul talking about, well, you know what? Under the Constitution, shut up, Rand Paul, you gutless piece of trash. Rand Paul that got beat up by his neighbor, got put in the hospital with broken ribs because his neighbor beat him up. How well do you think Rand Paul would do on the beach with me, with the Sinaloa drug cartel henchman facing him face to face? How quickly does Rand Paul fall on his knees and begs for his life? Oh, it would happen instantly. So you know what? Guys like Rand Paul, do me a great big favor and let's do two things. First, just tell me thank you. And then the second thing, go back to your office and shut up. Let's take a video. This is a video of a Venezuelan panga getting blown up. And it makes me excited when I see this. Play this, Nick, please. That's powerful. That's strength. That's America. Let me let Donald Trump explain to you why it's important just to stop one boat, every boat, but just one narcotic boat. Go and play this one for me, please, Nick. Number 9, please.
We have the greatest weapons in the world, and you see a little bit of it there. One shot, everyone dead center. And the only way you can't feel bad about it is you realize that you won't feel badly about it, is you realize that every time you see that happen, you're saving 25,000 American lives. Every one of those boats that gets knocked out is saving 25,000 American lives, not to mention the torn up families all over the country. And whenever I see that, I say to myself, I just saved 25,000 lives. I will say that there are very few boats traveling on the water right now. Actually, that includes fishing boats, that includes any other kind of boat. But there are very few boats traveling on the water. So now they'll come in by land to a lesser extent, and they will be hit on land also.
That's what we need. That's a leader. That's someone that he didn't do that during his 4 years when I was in the Border Patrol, and I would wonder why not. And then wonder why not, because he didn't have any backing. Now he does. Now he's seasoned and he knows what he has to do, and he's just going to do it. Many, many, many nights I sat there in those crime scenes wondering, what in God's name is my country doing? This is their recourse. They should be blowing up these things every single night, and then they will stop. Try to go hire somebody to be a boat captain as a narco smuggler with a great probability out of nowhere, a missile is going to come flying out of the sky and blow you out of the water and kill you instantly. Good luck paying those guys. You couldn't pay people enough. I have a guest. He's ready. I always bring him on a Friday. And it's Chris from sat123.com, because I think it's important that we have these discussions about being prepared. And I believe sat123.com is the company, the organization that allows us to be prepared. Chris, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, mate. It's good to see you again. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I'm glad to be back. I'm a new show, and I brought you back even despite your need. See, Chris on my last show actually reported to me from, I think it was Belize or someone like that, on the beach, and he really upset me because I was in Kansas City and it was freezing and raining, and he's sitting there with I could see the sun and the palm trees, and I wanted to reach across the screen and punch him, but we're here. He's in Colorado, so I know you're preparing for the colds coming. But Chris, you and I talked about something that just happened this week, and that was the AWS shutdown. Can you talk about that and how that applies to your product and your products, I should say, that sat123.com offers?
Yeah, for sure, AJ and JJ. Sorry, thanks for bringing this up. It's a great point because at 3:11 a.m. Eastern last Monday, AWS is their biggest data center called US East 1, which serves a huge amount of this country and many organizations around the world, went down. And what actually happened, they just released a post-event report. There was an automatic update to a DNS part of the DynamoDB database. What that all essentially means is that millions of websites would not connect. When you type in a domain name, it is then mapped to an IP address, and then through that IP address, a website or a web application is served. When that one missing crucial piece is in trouble, it looks like everything goes down. And what we saw around the world were hundreds of thousands, if not millions of websites affected, from the smallest all the way up to the very biggest. The ones that a lot of people were complaining about were the Starbucks app was down. I think it was Snapchat was down, Roblox. But much more importantly, 7,500 US government agencies rely on AWS for their data storage and cloud compute. So that is crucial. There were banking institutions around the world reaching as far as the UK. UK banks were offline. Airlines were affected. I mean, this was massive, JJ. And Amazon controls 37% of the global compute and storage, data storage market.
Wow.
Which, good for them, right? The problem is when one company controls that much of such vital infrastructure, and so many people and so many things rely on it, then if they go down, everything goes down with them. And even if Amazon AWS only hosts one part of your web applications or your data, if that fails, everything below it fails. So you see this domino effect, and that's exactly what we saw on Monday. Millions and millions of people were unable to access the websites, book tickets, get money out of the bank, and so on and so on. On the funnier, lighter side, there were a huge amount of searches on Google and other search engines for how do I turn the lights on? Because Alexa, the Amazon's in-house operator, controls if that controls your lighting and it goes down, people didn't know how to turn their lights on or off.
That doesn't surprise me. I think we've become, as much information as we have, we become dumber, Chris. I really believe that. But you and I talked about this briefly. If AWS can be attacked like that and can be dismantled, what does that tell you about your need to be prepared? And one of the ways is connectability. Talk to us about what products you have at Sat123 that will be a help to you, that will be the connectability when things go down. And the attacks from China and Russia, Iran, they're happening. We don't hear about it all the time, but we know it's happening. How do we prepare for our families?
I mean, there's three main things that you want. You need power, access to power. If the grid goes down or you have a gas generator, that gas can run out real quick. But solar-powered portable generators, from as small as handheld units to larger units that can power your entire house or your office around the clock just through solar power. That's an essential, I'd say, for every household. The other two things that you want to be connected to are telecommunications and, of course, the internet. Because without those two things, you are dead in the water. You don't know what's going on. If all the lights go out and all the power goes out and all the websites are down, you can just guess at what's going on unless you can reach out and you can connect with someone else in a different area and find out what's going on. Unless you can connect to the internet, it's just a guessing game. It might just be a power outage or it might be an attack, but you wouldn't know if you didn't have access. So we provide satellite phones that work absolutely anywhere, no matter what's going on the ground, or the whole grid's down and everything's down. Your sat phone's still going to enable you to make and receive calls, send and receive texts from literally anywhere on Earth. And then on the other side, we have multiple portable internet units that, again, connect directly to the satellites. And so, again, if the power's down, everything else is down, you are still going to be able to get a connection to the internet no matter where you are. And I would say those three things are something that every family should look seriously at purchasing.
Well, Chris, and the economy, everybody's struggling, right? It's tough. So when someone hears, well, you need to get a sat phone, the first thing someone thinks is, oh, I don't have $600, $1,000, $1,500. They don't need that, though, correct? Am I right on that?
yeah, we're the only company in the world, JJ, who offers the sat phone for free with activation. No matter where you go, you're going to have to activate your phone to make it work, just like a cell phone. But everyone else is going to charge you from $700 or $800 up to $2,000 for a sat phone. We give that to you for free when you sign up for one of our plans. You can get started for as little as $85 a month. You're going to get 150 minutes for that, and those minutes can even roll over if you don't use them. But look, if you don't need it, you don't need it. But it's like someone once told me, it's like, if you don't need a lawyer, that's fine. But if you need a lawyer, you want to make sure you have a good one. Right? Yeah. And so, so look, hopefully you won't ever need this. But look, even in the best of times, though, if you go camping, hunting, fishing, you're just outdoors, you're traveling, only 7% of this country is covered by cell phone service when everything's working. The rest of the country, you got nothing. So this can help you in the jam, just if you're out in the wilderness or out enjoying the outdoors. Or, of course, we're in hurricane season right now. Hurricanes are notorious for taking down the power, taking the lights out. And with that goes cell towers and internet connectivity as well. Anyone would know who's unfortunately been in one of those zones.
Chris, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you can keep coming back every Friday. You and I always say, what is going to happen next week? We don't know. I mean, that's shocking, right? But yeah. I don't think I know with the depths of my soul is you have a responsibility to be prepared, because it's not an if anymore, Chris. It's a when and how bad. So thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I hope you get back to Belize or some kind of tropical place real soon to make me jealous. Thank you.
Will do. Cheers.
All right. Cheers. Love Chris from sat123.com. I love my partnership with sat123.com. I have a sat phone. I have a ballistic backpack for my son, my wife, and myself as we travel. My son goes to school. Go to sat123.com/JJ. Just look at their website. Their website's actually amazing because they have tutorials, right? I'm horrible electronically. I have no idea. You give me a sat phone, how do I turn it on? They have step-by-step. Hey, sit down and watch this. This is how you need to set up your sat phone. This is how you need to use your ballistic backpack. This is how you use our products. Amazing, amazing company. sat123.com/JJ. Please support our sponsors. Love that company. Chris is a great guy. I love his accent. I can listen to him all day long. Another fast show, Nick. 53 minutes. I'm looking at the clock. I don't have a lot of time. But I want to go back to something that we've talked about this week. And there's I'm shocked at how relevant and how out in the open this topic is. And this is the topic of Israel. And it is exploding. And I wonder, I have people that I call every now and then just to make sure I'm on the right track. Like, am I just getting stuff in my algorithm? I try to change my algorithm up, but my algorithm, what comes into my Facebook, my X account, which I mainly use, my X account, and multitude of websites that I trust, that I really trust. And Israel is dominating. The idea that we are tethered to Israel. This yesterday, I think it was J.D. Vance talking about how Israel's our partner, that are equal partners. No. Israel exists solely because we allow it to exist. That's not a partnership. That's not an equal. It's not a marriage. This is a nation that needs us and that craps on us constantly. And I played a video this week of these two, and I don't know this, but I'm just assuming by looking at them and listening to them, two white nationalists, two patriotic nationalists, calm, direct, young. And this is the generation that is going to take over America really, really soon. And they are having no qualms about Israel's place in America's politics. Watch this. This is number 10. If you could play this and listen to them. And as you're listening to them, try to pick something out you disagree with as he's talking to a Israeli Jewish podcaster. It's fascinating. Please play this for us, Nick.
You're an Israeli Jew. I'm a white American Christian nationalist. Why should I be okay with my country funding your military and your healthcare system when it's arguably to our detriment? What should make us okay with that from your point of view?
So America controls in your area and we control like the Middle East. It gives America less headache maybe when they know there is a good country, which is Israel, and they do good things for the Middle East and trying to bring up peace with Arab countries and reduce all this terror.
But you guys have never brought peace to the Middle East, and that's being demonstrated right now. There is no quantifiable benefit that we have from being in a relationship.
I think you have a lot of benefits.
Like what?
Israel helps America like to keep the Middle East quiet.
Are you serious?
Well, yes, bro.
We've fought like 10 wars over there in the past 2 decades. We've been terrorizing Muslim people in the millions. What are you talking about?
Okay, but Israel helps.
Helps what? In all the wars that our people have fought on the behalf of your country, a lot of people that look like me have died. Millions of Muslims have died. We spent probably trillions of dollars on the wars on the Middle East. I don't know of any Israeli people that have died in these wars. So what are we benefiting from fighting these endless wars in the Middle East? And how does that keep peace?
So if Israel wasn't there, we would have to fight Egypt, Syria, Lebanon.
The only reason we fought any of those wars is because they were a direct enemy of your nation's sovereignty, and they were the only countries that reject the centralized banking system. We would have never been to war with them in the first place.
Quickly, name me one thing the Christian white nationalist said that is not true. Then ask yourself, why are our politicians bought off and paid and corrupt? And here's one that is completely bought off and paid. I used to be a fan of his. Not anymore. Not for quite a while, actually. He's done nothing. Quickly, tell me one thing Ted Cruz has done in the Senate. Go ahead. In fact, I'll give you some time. Go ahead. Tell me. Don't have anything, do you? Well, here's one thing that he's telling Tucker Carlson, and I would love for you to listen to this very clearly. It's about 10 seconds, but listen to what he says.
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate.
Great.
And I've worked every day to do that. I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States.
Why? Why? That's your goal? You're a representative for Texas, not Israel. Do you not have a problem with this, America? Do you not have a problem with this? Replace Israel and say Germany, Hungary, Mexico. I got a problem with all that. You're an American senator, for God's sake, you jackass. Let's listen to another jackass. Listen to what Speaker Johnson says about Israel. This is unbelievable. Listen to this. You won't believe it.
The first piece of legislation I passed after taking the gavel was a resolution of reaffirming the U.S.'s commitment to the security of Israel. That was a very important gesture on our part. And of course, I was happy to pass the security assistance funding when Israel needed it the most.
Okay. Let's go back in time real quick. His first action is to secure Israel. What was happened when he first took the gavel? That was the second year of the open borders. We had about 15 million people come into America in 2 years. And this jackass is focused on Israel. Do you not see a problem, America? Do you not see that you have been sold out? Do you not see that they don't care about you? You just sent billions of dollars to Israel for their health care, for their education, for their war, for all of their needs. And what about Americans? What about Americans? Your first, Speaker Johnson, your first order of business was to take care of Israel. That should have been not even on your radar, my man. I'm ending this show in the next 20 seconds. And I need you to know that we are in a war for the soul of the United States of America. And these people that are our representatives do not represent us. We do not live in a republic anymore. We don't have a constitution that's over us. We are being led by rulers that despise us, that absolutely despise us.